I can.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, great. So, does everybody have script book? Your toolkit with your scripts in it. Right, toolkit with scripts. And for those of you, I don't know if some of you are together, but hey, you know what I like to do? I like to walk around while I'm doing my script practice by myself. Literally walk around and just do it and go, hi, this is Marian Haller with Keller Williams. And I just do it out loud and do it by myself. You're all muted, we can't hear you, so do your script practice. And you guys can pair up. She'll be back. So one of the things you're gonna learn in business is that you've got hours. And in order for you to do your lead generating, you're not gonna be able to answer the phone from 9 to 11. Unless it's somebody that clearly that you called, because it'll take you down a rabbit hole like you wouldn't believe. And the moment you establish with your clients that you can be reached anytime after 11 until 8 o'clock at night. But from 9 to 11, I'm in preset meetings, I'm not gonna be available. I can see if you've got an emergency, so text me. Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
You set the parameters. Because you don't want to have to feel like you're in the middle of a meeting in a class or whatever it is, and you have to take this call.
Yeah.
That when you do that, who's in charge? They are, right? So if you want to be in charge of your business, you decide when to take a call. And it's okay if somebody goes to voicemail and you have to call them back in a half an hour, right? So just encourage you not to be like that. Like, I can call you back. You can text, right? I'll call you back in 15 minutes. Awesome. All right, everybody, pick a partner and pick a script. You can still do your, I'm new to real estate, or I'm new to Keller Williams. Or you can use that wonderful script. I love that. I'm in a class and I have to make calls. Whatever that script is. Right? What's that?
That's what I say.
It's great. I love that. And it totally works. And it lets you be in practice mode.
I make it up.
You what?
There's a script that says I'm in class.
I think so. Isn't there? Well, in bold there is, because in bold they give you that script, so.
Under Spark script book number,
Yeah.
I don't know what number it was, but year-to-date area.
Nope, I don't see it in here. But you can totally do that. You can totally start out by saying, hey there, I'm in a class and they're making me make phone calls and I'm learning how to call people, so can I give you my script? And they go, sure, let's hear it. And then you ask them, how'd I do at the end? And they'll say, you sounded like you were reading. Oh, darn. Or they say, you didn't sound like you were reading, right? That sounded good, so that's where you wanna get to. All right, let's take at least 15 minutes to do this.
Who wants to work with who?
Why don't you partner, you've already partnered, why don't you work
We'll
with
mix it
your
up.
accountability partner?
Okay.
Oh, the accountability partner?
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
no, you don't have to,
Doesn't
it's
have
fine,
to.
no, do what you want.
Henry. Whoops, I guess we'll-
Just one shake hand.
I'm a hugger by nature.
So hard.
She is.
And-
I'm a hugger.
I'm a handshaker, I'll do, yeah, that's true, yeah.
You want it, are
So-
you using this script, the one that's, I'm calling because I'm now investigating? Is
Sure.
that the one that
You do
you're
it.
most familiar with, or do you have another one that you want?
It doesn't matter, you don't have to use the same scripts, right? You can
Right.
practice your own script and the other person's just being a
Yeah.
client.
Agent with Kelly Williams Realty.
Okay, you wanna?
Her name
Sure.
is given to me
Sure.
by close friends, both of
Well, I'm
ours,
still,
Joe. And he said
sort of
that,
slowly integrating all
Joe
this stuff, so
Schmo,
I'm,
he said that I should give you a call.
kind of even the
So I
scripting
got
is,
the time to
is
talk for a couple
relatively,
minutes.
I'm just using the,
Well, Joe said you were thinking
just want to
about
figure that
selling
I'm now
your
real estate
house
agent with
in
Keller
the next
Williams
year or
Realty.
so.
I used to be a
And asked if
general
I
real estate
could
years
give
ago,
you a
but
call.
I might want to use the one that's
You
since
both wanna
I
make
had moved.
certain that you're in great hands and being the very best.
Let me just grab that one real quick. I haven't put it there.
Since everyone likes to know what houses are selling for, I'd like to share, my free real estate app with you. It's easy to check, what's for sale and what prices on your street and in your neighborhood, really anywhere in the US or Canada. Can I send you a text with that link? Does that sound good? Awesome. Thanks.
Well, I don't see how Canvas
So what
would
do you
use the
think?
one
Can you
that I'm
look
working
at?
on.
Could be in the next year.
In the next year? Can I ask, or
Well, I'm gonna,
no?
I'm just
I
gonna
wanna know why, like what's prompting the,
kind of, I'm just gonna try to put this in my own words
what's
here.
prompting
So
the
career
want to
change.
make-
Oh, hi, Anne Marie, this is Jim Mulberry. How are you today?
Reloading.
Have you
Great,
thought about
great.
listing
Well,
your
I'm just
house
calling
in
to
another
let you
region?
know that I am now a real estate agent in
Awesome,
Keller
that's
Williams Realty Valley.
Well, the next
Yeah,
step.
I'm very, very
for us would be
excited.
to
I
get
thought of
together,
you,
And I can answer all
because I
your
knew
questions.
you would be
when
someone
how the entire
help me
selling
grow my
process
business,
works,
especially since you
so that
know
have a
me,
good
you know my
sense
track record of always doing my very
of what
best.
you're getting into when you're ready to.
I'd like to share my
Could we
free
meet
real
today or
estate
tomorrow?
app with you.
Tomorrow would be better for you.
It's very easy to
Tomorrow
use,
is great.
and
They
you
have a
can
5 o'clock
find
tomorrow.
what's for
Super.
sale
And what
and
is your
prices
address?
in, not only in your neighborhood, but in your city,
I will text it
and
to
for
you.
that matter,
Okay,
anywhere in the
sounds
United
good.
States or
Well, I'll
Canada,
send
if
you
you
a
have
text
friends
right now,
or family
and then
that
I'll
are
send you my
interested
number
in
as
buying
well,
or
the
selling.
text is coming from a different number.
Okay.
Okay.
I build my business
Good
on
to know.
people I know,
Super. Okay,
and
I'll see you
people
tomorrow at
that,
5.
that you know. So,
Aloha.
you know of anyone, in your circle, anyone, some family and friends that is
Great.
interested in buying or selling
I
real
like this
estate,
one better.
I'd like to be able
Kinda
to be
flows a little
help
better.
for them.
Yeah.
So
The other
I
one's
would
more
appreciate
like
any
all
referrals that you can
talking.
give me, and I believe I can do a really good job if you do so.
Well, the other one's all back direction.
Yeah,
So,
Whereas this one is,
let's
more
see.
feels like it was more of a
more of a
conversation.
conversation, there's more pauses
Yeah,
and breaks.
I'll go with that as my first run there.
Okay, cool, how'd it feel?
Well, again, I'm a person that just has to
Yeah,
practice
I'll
a
give
little
that
bit
one a
in order
try
to
too.
really get comfortable.
There'll be
How did it feel?
a lot of those.
Yeah, it felt good. I'm getting a greater sense of,
So.
the
I'll
why
have
I'm
the-
doing it.
My name
and
is
that helps
Morgan,
me
I'm with
to
Keller Williams Realty
not-
Valley.
You know, my
And your
biggest
name was
thing
given
is,
to me by a
I don't
close
wanna be
friend of both
perceived
of
as
ours,
somebody that's,
Margaret.
Oh, Margaret's
pushy
great.
or,
And
you know,
yes, she's wonderful. And
infringing on
she-
people's time.
She said that
Yeah.
I should give you a call. Is right now a good time to
Yeah.
talk for a couple
Throw it out of your
minutes?
head,
Sure.
because we're in
Right.
sales, but we're in
Thanks.
the business
So,
of bringing people
Margaret
together.
said you
Yeah.
were
And if you're worried
thinking
about
about buying or
infringing,
selling
then
a
you need to
house.
be in town.
I can't
Yeah.
remember which one she
Yeah.
said, but I should
And
definitely
Exactly.
give you a call
So I've
and
been to that.
ask me
The
about,
only thing you didn't ask
please
me
give you a call. And we both
Can I
want to make
just
sure that you
interject
are
here
in
and add
great
something to
hands
that?
and that you
Yeah.
have the very best
Loved her
service,
honesty
so that's
with you,
why I'm
that
giving
was
you a call.
awesome, wasn't it?
since
great
everyone
job.
likes to
And
know what
one of the
houses
reasons we
they're
come
selling,
from
I actually have an
contribution
app
is so
if
that
you
you
like
always
that,
give
I
somebody
can
something
send you
for
just
the
a
time that you
text
spend
link
with them.
and you can
Information,
log on
access to
and
your mobile app,
check
you
out
name it.
what's
We
comparable
don't
in
ever
your
make a call without
neighborhood
having
and
something
on your
that you're gonna
street.
give them.
Yeah.
Or
And
any place
you're not
that
there
you
to
may
have a
be
long
looking
chatty
to move
conversation,
in
right?
the
You're there
future,
to
if you
get
have
to the
other
point, don't
neighborhoods
take a
on
lot of
the
time, you
horizon,
don't know anything, thanks so
you can
much for your
find out
time,
about
get
those
on with
too.
it, and that's why having
So
a
does that sound
script
good if I
that
send
you
you a
know
link with
well
that?
and can
Sure,
get
that'd be
through, so
great.
you don't do a lot of,
And so,
you see
have
what
you
I'm
seen
going?
any,
Yeah.
That's the
apps
purpose of the
like
script,
this
so like
before?
an actor in a movie,
Any apps?
we
Any
sound so
apps
real,
like
we
this one
believe
that I'm sent-
Yeah.
who we're seeing
mentioning
I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't-
is
for your
that thing.
phone?
Yeah.
It's not
Okay,
about
great.
being
So
salesy,
you'll
it's
like
about
this one, it'll
having an effective
make it
communication
real
and keeping in
simple
touch with somebody.
to
Yes.
do your,
That's all.
Yeah, no,
preliminary
that's good, that's,
research.
we can never
If you have
get too good at
questions,
that.
like-
No, exactly. Yeah,
We
good.
never arrive.
Good.
And then when were you planning to move?
Probably in the next,
Because
like,
you
probably
said you
6
had this
months.
great app, but you never
Okay,
answered
great,
me
so
because
we'll
I'm
get
like,
busy
Ah.
on this right
Oh.
away.
right?
Good,
So I
Have
would
you
almost
listed the
mark that
place that you're
Yeah.
selling with
as,
another?
I got
No, we haven't even started the process.
I forget it too.
So then,
Yeah.
if you
No.
had time, it would be
I
great for us
need
to
to look
get
at
together,
this.
that would be the next
Ah,
step.
this
And
paper
I can answer all any questions
couple
you
days, so it's
may
not
have
fresh
between
memory.
now and then, it only takes about
Yes.
20
I
minutes
can
to
send you a
to
text.
explain how the
Does
whole
that sound
process
good?
works,
Yeah.
but,
Oh.
if
Because then that's
there's
a
a good
gift.
time today or tomorrow, we
Yeah.
could meet up for a little
Okay.
bit.
Okay,
Did you try?
yeah.
Sure, how about today at 5?
Okay, great. And then if you, want,
Just put it in
I'll
your own
send,
words.
with my,
Hi, this is
link
Anne
that I
Marie.
send
Am I
you,
speaking
I'll
to
also
Jim?
send a follow-up
Yes, you are. Hi,
text
Anne
with
Marie.
Hi, Jim. It's
contact
so nice to talk to
information
you.
so that
I'm calling to
you need
share
to get
with
a hold of me
you.
between now and then.
This is silly. I'm supposed
you
to know
can.
you.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright,
Okay.
perfect, thanks, we'll
Okay.
talk to you soon.
Okay.
Hi, Jim. It's Anne Marie. How have you been?
I very well, thank you, so nice to hear from you.
Oh,
Yeah, I
great.
like that
Well,
one
I'm
for
calling to share with you some
simple.
exciting news. I'm one of the
It's not so
agent with
wordy,
Keller Williams
like
Realty.
the other one.
Yeah, we
I thought of you
There's a
because
lot
I
of
knew that you
intro,
would be someone
yeah.
to help me grow my business.
I
Especially
understand
since
what
you know
it's
my
for
track
though,
record and
but I think
commitment to
that one
doing the very
definitely,
best. I'd like to
I
share
think
with
over time
you.
it will become, like
I'd
we
like
can
to
hit
share
all
my
these
free app.
points without
I haven't started.
necessarily
That's
running.
okay.
This is the hardest part for me.
The natural breaks aren't there in the paragraph when you're reading it.
And don't look at each other, why don't you
Yeah.
turn around?
Yeah, I'll
Turn
turn
around, cause you're not, she's calling you,
Yeah.
right? It's a ring ring.
Yeah.
Cause this is, it's so unnatural to me.
It's just really important to take more pause, you know, and
Hi, Jim.
if
It's
you
Amber.
rehearse it the way it reads,
Well, how are you?
it will be almost impossible for the other person to respond.
There's no space.
So, like, that was for me was the hardest part about that.
Wonderful.
I'm gonna try
I
this
thought
one.
of you because I needed to be someone to help me grow my business, especially since you know my track record and commitment to doing the very
Aloha,
best.
Morgan. This is
I'd like to
Lee.
share
How have
with
you
you my
been?
free real estate app. It is so easy to
Great.
check what's for sale
Are you
and
still
what
working at that place?
prices on your street or in your
That
neighborhood
restaurant?
or any
That
place
restaurant?
else in
Yes, I
Canada.
still work
I
there.
can send you a text with the link.
It's
Does that
good.
sound okay?
Business is
Yeah,
up.
that sounds great.
Oh, that's
Thank you.
great,
Yeah.
great.
And I'd also like to
Well,
offer
I'm
a
calling
real
to
estate
share with
update
you,
on
I'm
your
now a real
neighborhood.
estate agent
You
with Keller
can
Williams
also
Realty.
add additional neighborhoods.
And I thought of you
may be
because I
interested in
need
even customize how
maybe
often
someone
you
who
receive
could
the
help, who could
update.
help me grow my
All I need is
business.
your current
Yeah,
address
that
and email.
sounds cool, I'd
Are
love
you
to hear
still
more.
at this
Oh,
address?
cool.
Yes,
you
I
know,
am.
especially since you know me and my track record.
And once I
like
get
what
the
to do
information,
very
then you
best.
start receiving it right away.
Yes.
I'd like to share,
Wonderful.
So I'm building my business on people that I know.
I'd
like you
love to
and
share with you
people
this free app that
Do
Keller
you know
Williams just
anyone
came
from
out
your
with.
work or
It's an
neighborhood
amazing
or
tool
people
to
who
look at properties, look at property values, to
Selling
find homes anywhere in the
or
US,
investing
not just
real estate?
Maui, but everywhere in the US.
Well, not offhand, but I'll be sure
It's easy
to
check what's
recommend
for
you,
sale, what price on your street or in your
once
neighborhood.
if
Can I
it
send
comes
you
to
a
mind.
text with the link?
Great, I'd love to be a
Sure.
resource for them.
Thank you.
So in the
I'd also
interim,
like
would
to
you have
offer
time
you a
to do
real
some
estate
coffee
update on your
sometime soon? I'd just love to sit
neighborhood.
down and chat.
Your
Yeah, that
customized
sounds great.
neighborhood,
Great,
so if you're interested
do
in.
you have time on
how
Wednesday
received
at 1
update.
or 3?
I just would need your current address and
Yeah,
email.
probably
and I can
3
start
o'clock would
sending
be a
it to
little bit
you
better
right
for
away
me.
if you'd like to share it.
Perfect, great, I'll see you there, thanks a lot for talking to me today, Joyce, and I'll see you on Wednesday at 3.
Great, Emery.
Have a great
I'm
day.
excited for you, and thanks for calling.
Wonderful, thanks.
All right.
And,
Bye-bye.
and then also, so, I'm one whole thing, I'm building my business on people we know and
It's so
people we
much
know.
easier to
You know, if anyone can work
hear
or
what somebody else is
or
doing.
group
Yeah.
people, I'm
And when
gonna
you
do
do
yourself
something,
and
it's
buying or
so
selling
easy
a
to
home
start.
or like
Yeah.
investing in
Well,
business.
some
It's hard for
people,
me. I'd love to be a resource for them.
some people like to, are really much better at talking about themselves, not just,
Oh, that's
you know,
great.
they love to talk about
Would you mind
themselves.
sharing your name,
you know,
phone number,
and,
or an email?
Well, most people
Yes,
do
I'll
that.
have to dig them out of
Um,
my contacts, but I can
I,
certainly send
I'm
them
more-
to you.
Okay,
I get more
well, I'll just
interested
follow up
in
with
other
them in
people,
here.
what they're doing,
Okay.
you know, cause I
Thank
already
you so
know what I'm
much.
doing that.
Yeah,
I
would you
already-
like a coffee sometime soon?
That's exactly,
Like,
okay,
contact
here we go.
person.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds wonderful.
Anybody?
See you soon.
Hi,
See you
Anne Marie.
soon.
This
Bye,
is Jim
Melissa.
Loper, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jim.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, Anne Marie, I'm just calling to share that I'm now a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty
And I
Raleigh.
was meeting.
And I thought of you because I knew you'd be
It still
someone
feels like
to help me grow my
That's how I
business,
feel.
especially since you know me.
Yeah, there's more
you know
stuff
my
like,
commitment to doing it
especially
very
when you're
fast.
into talking to people. you
I'd
know,
also like to share with you my free real estate app.
They'll
It's
have
so
a lot
easy
more
to
to
check
say
what's for
back.
sale,
Yeah.
They'll have
what
questions
price
so that
on
the
your
pause
street or
they're
neighborhood or
listening,
any place
if they
in the
start
US or
talking,
Canada.
because it might be a question
I
they
can send you
have,
a
and
text
it
with a link.
might be a
Does that sound
question
good
that
to you?
totally
Sounds great,
throws
thank
you
Wonderful, thank you.
into another conversation.
I'd also like to offer a real estate update on your neighborhood. You can also add additional neighborhoods you may be interested in, or even
But then
customize how often you
part
see
of
the
asking
update.
them about themselves.
All I would need is just to
you
confirm
that,
your
and
current
sometimes
address.
you know
Are you still at the same
I
location?
just feel like the Dayton switch,
Great,
like,
and,
yeah, that's my.
Are you still at annemarie@gmail.com?
Yeah.
My limiting belief around it.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
so
wonderful.
you have to some,
I'll make sure that all my
somehow
contact
turn it
information I have for you
into
is
where it's
updated.
more natural for you.
Looks like it is.
And yet it's
And you'll
still
start
makes
receiving
these points to,
that right away.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing?
Be in a
Oh,
partner
I already
and
asked
stuff.
that.
But
I
yeah,
asked for your
yeah, and
information.
it's,
Anne Marie, I'm also building
Awesome.
my business on people I know, and people they know.
it's totally.
Do you know anyone from your work,
Are you
or
new?
neighborhood, or some of your
well, I've had
groups
the
that you're
license
involved
for a
in,
while, but,
that might be interested in buying or selling real estate?
Get through these,
Well, I'd have to think about it.
training things.
I'm not quite sure. I know of some people that are.
Yeah, so I have,
looking into
especially
the,
now I have more time, but,
vacation rental.
Okay.
Real
so I
estate,
got
do you
my
deal with that?
license, so.
Absolutely,
I'll
I'd be
Okay.
pleased to be a resource for them, and appreciate any referrals you can send my way. It'd be
Okay.
wonderful to
Where I
get.
wanna do something.
Great,
So,
I could probably get that to you in the next week or so.
Yeah.
Awesome. Also, if you have a few minutes sometime the next week or so, I'd love to be able to,
Mhm.
just get together, maybe over a cup of coffee and chat to see how your family's doing and sort of reconnect. Would you be available sometime like maybe Wednesday or Thursday this week?
Hey, Morgan, how have you
Be
been?
available on Thursday.
Great,
Okay,
thank
great.
you.
How about, like 2:30 in the afternoon? Does that
You know,
sound good to
I'm
you?
calling
That sounds
to share with
Okay,
you
why
now.
don't we meet at,
our real estate
Starbucks
agent
in,
Williams.
Kahului, and
They switched over from
we'll
everyone and went to
enjoy a
Mercury.
coffee
Just has
together
incredible
and
tools.
catch up.
Sounds great, Jim. Thanks for
Networks
calling.
to
Wonderful. Look forward to visiting with you then, Anne Marie.
And I thought
Thanks so
of you
much for
because I knew
taking my
there'd be
call.
someone who could help me grow my
All right, have a great
business.
day. Bye.
Especially since,
So
you know.
that's
I'm
flowing,
contractor and-
flows a little bit more, you know. I think it's the thing is to, for me, what helps me, everybody thinks
So,
differently,
I have three
rather
things
than the
I'm
script
gonna talk
is
to you about today.
the
First
breakdown
is
of
I'd like to
each
share
category of
your
what are you
listing
trying to
update.
accomplish?
It's an
What are the,
amazing new,
you know, there's really,
tool
there's
that
the announcement,
Morgan came out with.
um,
And it gives you the
and
availability.
then
to
there's the
check
sharing of the app, then
or to
there's
check
the
what's
offer
for
to
sale in your area
customize,
and what price, it could
the
be on
app,
your street or your neighborhood
and
or
then
any place in the
asking
US.
for an update on their, to reconfirm their location. And then there's,
Yes.
asking for the referral.
Super, it's
So
really fun to
I'll
play with
probably,
and kind of just see what prices are around you, anywhere you are.
let's see, so,
I'd also
It
like
helps
to
me,
offer
this is
a free real estate
announcement.
update to you on your neighborhood. You'd be able to customize and add additional neighborhoods that you'd be
It's almost
interested
like the
in following the
announcement, and then there's
market
the
on. And
sharing of the app.
customize how often you receive the updates. All I need is your current address and email, and then I can start sending it to you right away. Do you mind sharing your
Offer to-
email and address with me?
Okay.
customize the
Super,
app.
thank you.
Are you customizing the app or
Third
are you
and
doing
final one,
a,
I'm building my business on people I know and the people they know. Do you know of anyone who, from your work or neighborhood or group that you belong to, is thinking of buying?
I'd
or
also like
selling
to
a
offer
home
real estate
or even
update.
investing in real
real estate?
offer to,
Yes,
So-
yes, I do.
That might be a CMA.
You have to share their contact.
Oh, super, thank you so
well, no,
much.
that's, also you can offer
that's
a real estate
great.
update on your neighborhood. You can also
And
add
just keep in
additional
mind if,
groups that may be interested
anyone
in
around you,
customized
you
offer.
don't need anyone.
Is that regarding the app?
Absolutely.
That's
Thank
so
you.
fun. Hey Miriam, can we ask a question?
Well, it was great connecting with you and talking with you and catching up.
Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
Miriam,
All the
can I ask a
I'm
question?
sorry.
We have a question.
Yeah.
On the, script when it talks about the, offer a real estate update for our neighborhood, is that like a CMA
skip
that they
that.
can get, or a?
No, that's
How do you say
command.
all that?
That is
We'll
command.
get-
That's command, snap,
we'll
smart
start
plans.
with
We
that.
haven't read
Yes.
that yet.
Yes, you did, I showed it to you,
Hi,
I showed it to you on that second
You did,
session.
you did show me the
I
smart
did.
plan, but
I'm
this-
great,
okay,
thank you.
so
I've been really
Yeah.
busy lately,
CMA, but this
and
is
I'm trying to
smart
This
make
is smart
contact
plan, this is why you
with
need their
folks that I
address, you're gonna
know,
put their address in. That
but I'm
automatically
hoping to share
links
that
to
I'm
a
not
map
real
that they
estate
can
agent
get.
with Keller Williams
If
Realty.
they say right here, well, yeah, I care about that, but I'm really,
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested
Because I
in
need
Kihei, can you
someone
tell me
to
what's
help me
going on in
grow my
Kihei?
business.
You bet I can.
So
Especially
put it
since
on
you
the
know my
smart
track
plan.
record. and
That's how you do
doing
this,
my
you're gonna put them
business,
right onto
things
a
that I
little
do.
smart plan.
I'd like to share with you
That
a
makes-
brand
that
new
makes more
app
sense
that
to
they
me because
created for me
I couldn't,
with my
tell
own
our
name
classes up
attached to
there.
it.
But you did,
and-
yeah.
No,
Well,
I
there's-
did, I
there's-
showed
there's
it to
the
you
other
so
real
that,
estate apps
now,
you might
I'm
have
glad
seen.
you asked, because now
You
you've
can
connected the
search
dots.
neighborhoods and
Right,
find
right, now
pricing
you
on
get it,
all
you're
these
gonna put their name
information about
in, and you're
places
gonna
for
get their
sale,
home address, and that
either in
allows you
your
to even put them on
neighborhood
that
or
campaign.
elsewhere that you may
once a
be
month.
interested in knowing
Yeah.
that
And they
information.
get that and they get their.
So
anywhere
this
in
is
the
separate,
US or
this is
Canada.
separate than,
So if
the,
I could
the
send you a
discussion on
text
the
with
app.
that link,
Yes.
So,
it would be
okay.
really easy for you
So
to
this,
get,
I think
the-
this, so.
get to that.
I
You
guess
have
that
it.
myself too.
open it and
Okay,
download it,
so-
sign up. It won't take very long to
This
sign
is good
up.
when you
You
share
just put
the
your
app.
email
Yeah.
It's
address
giving
in
them the
there.
opportunity
And
to
then,
look.
Yeah.
And when
we
we
can
get
stay
their
in
number,
contact
then
that
yeah,
way
that's giving
if
us
you
the
had any
opportunity
real
to keep
estate
them
needs.
informed.
Or
Yeah,
if
with
you had
that,
any
one
friends
sends them an
that
app and the
had
other one
real
sends them an
estate needs,
email.
You could also then share it.
A monthly email,
But I can also do things like
all the
a
things,
real
all the
estate
goings on in
update
there.
on your own
neighborhood.
neighborhood, and I can do that for free if you're interested. And
Okay,
I
so-
can update those
I have a chart of where
updates
it's.
to
Okay,
include
so
other
number one,
neighborhoods and
Put yourself in as
customize
a contact,
it,
and start
you know,
yourself
as
on a
often
smart
as you
plan.
like, and
Number
to
one,
the amount of
so that you
times
can
you get an
experience
email
that. You
from
go,
there.
oh my God,
All I
look
need
at
is
this,
your
right?
current
Yeah.
email address.
And number two, I
email
want you to
if
read this, I
don't
want you
mind
to
sending me
sit in
that,
the
I can
corner, and I
start
want you to
sending it
read
right
this
away.
script so that you fully understand it.
Yeah,
Because you didn't, you've been
It's kind of
saying
a
it
little
Yeah.
for days
weird
now,
Yeah.
and you didn't know what this
Because
meant.
in
no, I
that
didn't, cause
So
I
I
haven't
need you
been,
to-
yeah, I'm still
it
working
has
on
the
understanding
email
commands, so,
address.
Well, actually,
So it
which is
should be
a process.
you're so worried about doing
something
the script,
to the
you're not
effect of
Well, they
like-
might
clear on what
set
you're
up the
saying,
app.
and you
Right.
don't,
Yeah, that's true.
somehow your
Yeah,
mind
so
and your body
either
didn't
way, so then it's
connect to
good
say, you know
idea.
what, I don't know what I'm
You know
saying
you
here.
can.
Yeah.
What am I
It's
saying?
almost doubling
Yeah.
down.
So I want you to read it to see if there's
Okay.
anything else.
So if
I
you
also
don't
want
mind
you to know,
sharing
this is
your
what my
email
script
address
looks
with
like.
me, I can get
So I
going
change,
on a
I don't
different,
like the sentence,
note,
Sure.
so you can
"Sweet,"
get those updates.
especially
if
since
you're
you know my
interested.
track record and commitment to
And,
doing the
since
very
I'm
best.
building my
How would my friends
business,
know that? How would my
Right.
friends,
people I
you
know,
know,
What
it's
do you
just-
say
people
instead?
they know.
Just cross it off, I don't
well,
read it.
you might
However,
know
I love what
anyone,
she said.
from
She
your
said,
work or your
"There's 3 things I wanna share with you
might
today."
belong to this thing.
Oh, that's good.
Because I don't like how it goes from that sentence to
long-term
this one, it doesn't make sense to me, I would say, I'd like to start with.
Right to the point.
Love to
Right.
hear from
It
That's
doesn't,
good.
so I wrote in, there's 3 things I wanna share with you today.
Perfect, if you don't mind.
Number
would you
one,
should
I'd like
be
to share my
okay
free
with
real
sharing
estate
their
app with
phone
you.
number
It's
with
so
me
easy,
or
right?
email
Number
so I can
2,
contact
I'd
you?
also like to offer you a real estate update in your neighborhood. You can
I
add
mean, if you
additional
wanna check
neighborhoods
with
if you're
them
interested,
first,
which I'm
see
not
if
sure
it's
I'd go into
okay.
that.
Yeah, go ahead, but if
That's a
if they
reason
have
for
any
another call, it's too
idea that they
confusing,
wanna
you can
find out
add
more
it
about
Yeah.
what's going on in real estate
Yeah.
Right?
and how
So
it
you can,
relates to
I
them,
would take
then
that
please
sentence
send them
out, I
my
think
way.
it's
I
too
would
much.
love to talk to them.
You can customize it how often you receive the
And
update.
thank you
I like
for,
that.
thank you
You
for
can
thinking of
customize it
me
for how
with,
often you receive the update.
any real estate needs that you might
All I need is your current address
have
and email,
or
and
that
you'll
your
start
friends
receiving
might
it right
come up
away.
with in
And then
the
I
future,
crossed out, do you mind sharing this
which is
information with
make
me?
copies sometimes.
Because, no,
See it
because,
in person.
um,
Right.
Super.
Terrific.
when you
Well,
say to
stay in
somebody, do you
touch.
mind doing something, you've given them an out. Now you're gonna say, well, yeah, you're gonna send me a lot of stuff or whatever, as opposed to, does that interest you, receiving this
Don't give them a.
regular update that you can decide how often you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Don't give
kinda
them
cool. Okay,
Mhm.
great,
So
what's
it's
your
checking
address?
on the people when you're
Mhm.
asking for.
Oh, yeah.
See the difference?
Don't give
Yeah.
your-
So now I'm just
Yeah.
checking, do you like the idea of receiving
Right,
an update? I
right.
can send it to you
That
once
makes
a
lot
month,
of sense.
Yeah.
right? And you can decide how often you wanna receive it.
Yeah.
You can change it. You
Yeah,
decide.
you're giving them,
Yeah.
they're making a choice, they're
That's
making a
right, so you
commitment.
can decide, you can turn it off, you can decide you only want it once a year, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if you,
there's
if,
gonna be
does
more
that interest you?
confident
And if they
about
say
that.
yes,
It's
then you
the
say,
making
great,
the
what's
call.
your address? I need your address to do
So
that,
I'm
and
not
then
a
what's
call
your email?
person anymore. And I gotta get back.
So
to
I'm
my
just
phone.
demonstrating
My
how
phone's
I
good. They used to
modify
be
the
good.
script
She said, sit
to
at
work
the
for me,
desk
and then
with
I
my
would
phone all day, so
retype it for
So the
myself.
three things are the free apps,
One, two, three.
neighborhood update.
So much anymore.
Um,
Yeah.
Which one are you using? I'm using New to Real
The one that-
Estate.
Yeah.
I hate, I
You
hate
start
it
with your
so
Sphere
much.
Ford script. This is only if you're using a different script.
Oh.
It's just somewhere, like today,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
calling.
just, yeah.
it's not like.
I'd like to
Oh.
share,
I was in-
I'd also
in the
like to
comfort
offer,
zone,
oh no,
like
I'm
this.
building my
So
business,
like
it's
I
the
said,
same
This
one.
is, what's this,
Here.
it's start,
It's a
we
different
start
one.
with, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
You know, and, we had
Thank
headsets,
you.
but I liked the phone and that fact that I was sitting at a place or I had a, you know, nowadays.
So here's another thing I'm gonna recommend to you guys, is that you literally do, this one thing to do role play and to make an appointment with each other to do this over the phone, because it's so much fun when you're actually on the phone, right? It works great. But in order to learn these scripts, you need to practice. And that means you need to be home alone somewhere and going, hi, this is Marion Haller from Keller Williams, how are you doing? Right, assuming, wait a minute, well, I'm calling to share that I'm now a real estate agent with Keller Williams, and I thought of you because I knew you'd be someone to help me grow my business. Thanks, I really appreciate that, right? Because they're gonna say something. Yeah, sure, what can I do? Well, I appreciate that. Actually, there's 3 reasons why I'm calling today. I love that line. First of all, I'd like to share my free real estate app with you. First of all, I'd like to share my free real estate app with you. First of all, I'd like to share my free real estate app with you. I need to have this roll off of my tongue, and doing it once or twice with each other is not gonna achieve that. So you need to practice before you do your script practice with each other. Does that make sense? Or your role playing? Yeah. So, and I was just showing them, I took yours, I've changed, I don't like the sentence, especially since you know my track record and commitment to doing the very best. Now, some of you might like that, and that's okay with you. I don't talk that way. So I crossed that line out, and I changed it to, there's 3 things I wanna share with you today. And then I go, first, I'd like to share my free blah, 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 right? And then second, and on that one, I took out, you can also add additional neighborhoods you may be interested in. It is too much information over the phone in too short a time.
Yeah,
So I took that
keep it
out,
simple.
and then I took out the line, do you mind sharing this information with me? Which refers to their address. It simply says, all I need is your current address and email, and you'll start receiving it right away. Does that interest you? Or does that sound good? Question mark, get an answer? Yeah. How does this come to me? By email, and like I said, you can change how often you get it. I'll set it up for you to get it once a month. Does that sound good? Great, what's your address? Just now that you've gotten them to agree, what's your address? As opposed to, do you mind sharing your address with me? Because when you say to somebody, do you mind? It gives them a reason to say, well, yes, actually I do. And you don't want that. You've already gotten them to agree, right? So what's your address? And let me make sure I got your email. And then number 3, okay, here's the 3rd reason I'm calling. I'm building my business on people I know, and the people they know. Do you know of anyone from work, your neighborhood? So again, here's a sentence that you're gonna learn to say all the time. Do you know anyone from work, your neighborhood, or a group you belong to who's thinking of selling a home, or investing in real estate? I'd be pleased to be a resource for them. But actually, you stop before I'd be pleased. You just stop and let them think. Because the moment you ask somebody, do you know anyone from your work, your neighborhood, or a group you belong to who's thinking of buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, now they're gonna go, oh, think. That's literally what you just ask them to think.
Yeah.
So you need to stop and go right there. So I'm putting a big mark, stop, right?
After you ask the question.
after you ask the question. Don't go on. So, working with each other, really role-playing, really being that client, you will be able to give feedback and say, you just walked all over my answers, which is what happens a lot. Like, I wanted to answer you and you just went right on. You need to hear that so that you build your pauses in, right? Yeah. So you can see here, I have modified it to reflect me, so I'm comfortable with it. Yeah? So do that for yourselves. Retype it. I type it in bigger type because I can't see this, you know. And you've got a script that you like. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The other one I encourage you is we're so anxious about doing this, right, that we might go right into our script. Don't forget, there's a forward thing up here.
Yeah.
So if you're calling somebody and you end up in the forward conversation, oh my God, I haven't heard from you for ages. What are you doing? And then you chime right into your script. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right?
It's gotta
I'm trying to
flow.
build a relationship, so I need to say, I know, I've been really bad about that. I'm gonna tell you what I've been up to, but tell me how you are. What have you been up to? Take a moment,
Yeah.
right? Because if they say, how are you, and you go right into your script, they feel like, you didn't call me to ask about me.
Right.
You called me to give this blurb. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why the forward is up there, and that's why it's not scripted, because you just need to allow for it. So just be yourself. And if you're the client in the role play with each other, do that. React that way and go, oh my God, it's so good to hear from you, or I don't think I've talked to you in, I don't know, 2 years, how long has it been? And make this conversation happen so that we all learn how to find our way back to the script, right? So we have a little chat, how's the family, how's the din, what are you up to, oh, great, well, me, okay, now I'm gonna tell you what's up with me. So I'm so excited to tell you I'm with Keller Williams, and then you go. And then you can say, so I've got this opportunity to, you know, offer you some things, and there's 3 things I'd like to share with you, if that's okay with you. Yeah, go ahead. And they probably know you're at this point into some sort of a script, but the script is helpful. It's offering them an app, it's offering them a monthly update, and asking for referrals. You're not selling anything, you're not doing anything disingenuous. Is that the right word?
Genuine.
I knew there was something there.
Yeah.
Disingenuous.
We're all geniuses.
Or disingenuous. It's okay, right? When you say, I'm actually new to real estate, and I'd love to share with you, you know, some things. Do you see where I'm going? So build yourself a transition. If you've done a forward conversation, how do you now get to do your script? Because otherwise, if you just launch right in from a nice forward conversation, you're, well, actually, I'm calling to share that, well, no, that's not why I'm calling. I called to connect with you. But while I've got you on the phone, let me share the exciting news that I've already told you I'm with Keller Williams right now. But I'd really appreciate your help building my business. Would you help me? Yeah, of course, what can I do?
I have a question.
Right?
When, you mentioned it once that, you know, we're trying to learn all these systems and putting everything in some sense of order to our businesses. You know, you have to learn the system to be able to use the system.
Okay, which
Right.
system are you talking
The
about?
command system
Okay.
or anything like that, anything that we use in our business. So, like going through the scripts and rewriting them and working them, do you recommend, you know, like when you say, when we set up our schedule, don't answer the phone from 9 to 11 or whatever, during that time to do our back office work? This is what I would call back office, my preparation or.
Yes, so there is a class that you're gonna get in, what's the, Elementals. That's gonna talk more specifically about how do you set up your 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours of lead generating. It doesn't mean 3 hours of phone calling, because you've got to prepare your list. Who are you calling? You've got to check that list to make sure you're all ready. Then you've got to practice your script, You've got to spend at least 15 minutes getting this, right, or 20 minutes getting your script into your body that morning, that day. Then you're gonna make your phone calls. Then you're gonna spend a half an hour entering data into the database. Now, here's a cheat that I like. Buy yourself the rubber mat for your keyboard, and if you type quickly, if you're a good typist, you can be taking notes in command while you're having the conversation. Now that's how I think. I think with my fingers like that. So it's really, that's something I can do. If that doesn't work for you, don't worry about it. You take notes, and then you're gonna have to transcribe your notes into command.
Yeah.
And then the last half hour is so you set them up into your whatever campaign you've got going, or the Snap, right, the emails that you've just agreed to set them up on. And then the last 20 minutes, half hour is writing handwritten notes. Because everybody that you just got an address for, what are you gonna do? Send them a note. It was so great chatting with you. Have a wonderful day. And hopefully your note cards are not quite as boring as those. Or go and make prints of a pretty picture of, Maui and paste it to a simple card. Have your kids do that. 100 pictures, 100 cards, here, $10. You paste them on there.
Oh my god, that's like livable. Like I was thinking 2 hours of like pure production.
No, it's a whole
There's
thing,
a
right?
difference, doesn't
It's
it?
a whole thing. This is the whole
Oh.
thing. You've got to
So
get
you're just
ready.
taking
You've
it
got to
all
get
one
your
way.
script ready. You've got to do it, and then you're going to spend an hour trying to reach people. The idea is you want to make 10 contacts in a day.
Yeah.
So you can also figure, okay, I'm going to do an open house this afternoon. I will probably, let's say I'll meet 3 people, and I'm going to meet a couple of people at school or whatever, and I'm going to get my sentence in there. That's my goal today. I'm going to get this phrase in there. Who do you know from your neighborhood or church or anywhere who's thinking of buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate that I could help? Other people have a great line that says, I've got a goal of helping 3 families with real estate this month. Do you know anybody that I could help?
That's a good one.
Right? It's how does it feel okay for you to get it out? So there's your 10. So now you're gonna have to make notes about the 10 that you met during the rest of the day. So there's a little bit of final mopping up at the end of the day to enter those names into your database and track at the end of the day. How many people did I talk to today?
Yeah. It's all under the category of, you're building your business.
That's correct.
Rather than doing a bunch of mundane tasks, the goal is building your,
That's correct.
by building your database.
That's correct. Your database is, so there's a guy who did the session that I taught you the other day, and we have videos that we can watch, right, where they give a sample training of it. And the guy has a database of 12,000 names. 12,000. He gets 12% response out of his database. It feeds him. He gets 12 transactions per 100 names.
Wow.
Wow. Now, do we do that here on Maui? No, because half of our buyers are
Realtors.
from the mainland.
There's a lot of realtors.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not all the ones, I mean,
No.
realtors are buying real estate for sure, but no, it's because they're from the mainland and we don't,
Right.
there's no way to, right? But can you add those people to your database? And that's what makes our possibilities so big, is that 50% of our buyer pool and our seller pool are actually on the mainland. They're not here, right? So we have a much, even though the population is only 150,000, we have a much larger potential. Great, yeah, everybody get this? Everybody get if you get comfortable with this, making your calls will feel so much better,
Nice.
Yeah.
okay? So do this for you. Say that?
Sorry, this is Catherine. I'm just wondering if you would read your first paragraph again.
Sure. I'm calling to share that I'm now a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty. I thought of you because I knew you'd be someone to help me grow my business. Thanks, I appreciate that. You gotta stop there, because when you ask somebody to help them grow their business, they're gonna wanna respond and say, sure, what can I do for you? And then I say, as she so wisely taught us earlier, so there's 3 things I wanna share with you. To start, I'd like to share my free real estate app with you. Blah, blah, blah. And then next paragraph, number 2, I'd also like to offer you a real estate update in your neighborhood. And now I've taken out, you can also add additional neighborhoods you may be interested in. I'm gonna make a note to myself that that's a good follow-up call. Or if I text them in a few days and say, hey, did you download the app? And by the way, you can add more neighborhoods if you want, right? It's a reason, it's too much information for me in this script, so I took that out. But I did leave in, and you can customize how often you receive the update. I'll set it up for you for monthly, but you can change that if you like. All I need is your current address and email, and you'll start receiving it right away. Does that interest you? Or does that sound good? I probably would use, does that sound good? Great, so what's your address? I don't have it here. And let me make sure I've got the right email. So I don't ask, do you mind sharing your address with me? No, I need to just ask for it. Because I've now gotten permission. If they say, yes, I'm interested, they say, no, I don't really want any emails like that. Okay, fine, great. Well, then let me ask you the third thing. I'm building my business on people I know and the people they know. Do you know of anyone from your, et cetera, et cetera? And again, once you've asked somebody, do you know anyone, you have to stop at the end of that sentence and say, investing in real estate, stop. The next part, I'd be pleased to be a resource to them. You are talking right over them thinking. So just stop at that point and then say, gosh, no, I can't think of anybody right now. Well, great if you do, let me know, I'd love to be a resource to them. And I'd really appreciate you helping me build my business. All right. Does that help? You bet. So the point I was making is, look at my script, where is the camera here? My script is full of edits, yeah? So I'm going to take my script and I'm gonna retype it. And I would also advise to retype it with all those breaks built in, all those pauses.
That's a good idea.
Build yourself in pauses, because, and when you do your role playing, you'll see somebody talks right over you wanting to say something. So we need to be careful to hear.
Listen.
If they, listen and do they want to say something. All right, everybody. With that, it's time to call. So we're going to take the next 45 minutes.
Huh? Well, this helps. I'm gonna rewrite this. That was a good idea for that. Just because
Yes.
this sounds too.
Yeah.
It's not me. Being with the instructor, that's.
You're letting them know, like, oh,
So then when we
no, I'm a real,
we're asking for if they would be interested in
and if, let's just really say, oh, I already have a realtor
that
that I
update,
work
then
with.
at that point,
Is
then
it okay
we
to
find
say,
out how often
I
they want that
would
update,
need another resource for you?
or any other neighborhood too, that's kind of like putting that together.
Absolutely. You can say, I'd love to, first of all, you can acknowledge and say, oh, who are you working with? And they say, oh, Sally Smith. Oh, she's a great realtor. Good for you. Well, you know what? If for any reason at any time you need a backup realtor, I'd love to be your backup realtor, and I'm always available as a resource for you.
Oh, you could.
So you've acknowledged this other realtor and you've said, good for you, great realtor, always say that. And so you've given them permission, and now you're just saying, love to be your backup realtor if you ever need anything, or if you need any information, or I'd love to be a resource for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
And share your app and put them on your drip anyway.
Okay.
All right. We got handed a script.
It's so weird.
What's weird?
It was in command, when I add an activity, email isn't one of the choices.
What are you in?
Command and contacts.
Yeah, you need to go into campaigns. So you need to go into, I mean, in your contacts, you can't add an email. You mean an email address?
Oh, no, I'm just trying to say that just document that I sent an email to a lead.
Notes. In the minutes.
Yeah, in
Notes.
notes, you'd have to
Okay.
say, yes, sent an
Okay.
email. But if that, oh, okay, like an email that you send separately.
Yeah, personal email.
Because it will record in your contact that the automatic emails went, and it'll even tell you if they opened it or not.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't check that.
Yeah, that's what helps when you make yourself a contact. You can go in and check on yourself.
Yeah. I think that's why I got the text about an app. Did I do it myself? I got a random number sending me a text to sign up for my Keller Williams app. But it didn't say who I was or anything.
So I believe I got that too. Hold on. It was very weird.
And it wasn't well done because it didn't say who it was.
Mine comes from kwleads@kw.com.
Oh, the email?
No, it was a
The
text.
text. Mine was a number. It didn't have it was just a random
Okay.
number, a 514 number.
Okay. I don't know. There's weird stuff happening.
I guess I could click on it and see who sent it to me. Oh, I sent it to myself. I don't like that.